here. No rocks from Mars have ever been brought back to Earth, and no human has ever touched anything on Mars. But that's about to change. National Geographic has asked me and Jake and Kevin to talk about Mars because they have a show coming out soon all about how we are planning to turn Mars into a home, a place where humans will soon be living and working. It's a plan set to become a reality in the 20th. Michael here. No rocks from... Hey, Vsauce. Michael here. No rocks... National Geographic... Just how there are everyday life questions raised. We would be literally beginning society all over again on a new planet. Whose laws will Martian colonists follow? What kind of watches, clocks, and calendars will they use? And what will be lost if we as a species gain Mars? Is it okay to touch Mars? What will its flag look like? In 1998, Pascal Lee designed a flag for Mars that was flown at the Hutton Mars Project Research Station, where how humans might live and work on other planets was studied. The flag is a nod to Kim Stanley Robinson.
It's time to get the trucks with load leveling rear air suspension and class exclusive Rambox storage. Right now, get a great deal on America's longest lasting pickups.
Welcome to this week's episode of The Backyard Scientist. Today we're going to be pouring molten aluminum into this tall glass of oobleck. It's going to be pretty interesting. Check it out. So while we wait for the aluminum to melt, I'm going to show you how to make oobleck, and it's two simple ingredients, cornstarch and water. The first step is just simply to add some cornstarch to a bowl. The next step is to add water, but it's a good idea to add some food coloring first. And the final step is just to mix it up until it's the right consistency. Now, a whole number of different things can happen when I pour the aluminum in here. When I pour the aluminum onto the oobleck, it can just sit on top and its own steam will keep it afloat on the surface. Or it can sink down to the bottom and it can create so much steam and the steam might not be able to escape, so it might explode. So I've got dry ice here and we're going to see if the gas can escape from the oobleck or if it's just going to get trapped and trapped and trapped until the whole thing explodes and spills over. I dropped a chunk of dry ice onto the oobleck and it quickly fell below the surface. It turns out that escaping gases really aren't that much of a danger. So this experiment is a go and the aluminum melted right on time.
On standby.
Alright. And get it after a second I pour it in, alright?
Alright.
Well, that was pretty uneventful, which I guess is a good thing when you're playing around with molten aluminum. It took a while for it to stop smoking and cool down, and I was curious to find out what pieces of aluminum were inside. If anybody's wondering, it smells exactly like burning paper. So this is it right after I poured the aluminum in, and I can't get it out. It's completely solid. So I couldn't get any of the stuff out, so I'm going to try to get it out with water. Maybe there'll be something cool in here. It looks like Pepto-Bismol. Oh, gross. Look at this stuff. It turned like jelly. It's like a donut hole. So I ran this experiment 3 times and I got 3 almost identical pieces of aluminum. It was hard to get them out of the cornstarch, that's why I had to use the hose, but originally they were solid black from all the carbonized sugar and starch on there, but they turned out pretty nice. If anybody else is curious, the largest piece weighs 174 grams. Well, that's it for this week's video, guys. I will see you next time. What's up, guys? Backyard Scientist here, and today we're going to be pouring these 7 metals into this 15-gallon fish tank. we have tin, pewter, bismuth, lead, zinc, aluminum, and thermite. You're going to want to check this out. So the reason I'm making this video is because every time I post a video involving molten metal, somebody in the comments is going to cry out and say, you're going to die, a horrible tragic death, and it's going to be painful the whole time you're dying. That's not really exactly true, and it pretty much comes down to how hot the metal is when it comes into contact with water. First, we're going to start off with pewter, and that has the lowest melting point of the group, only about 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're going to go ahead and melt that and pour it into the water. So the reason I'm making this video is because every time I post a video involving molten metal, somebody in the comments is going to cry out and say, you're going to die, a horrible tragic death, and it's going to be painful the whole time you're dying. That's not really exactly true, and it pretty much comes down to how hot the metal is when it comes into contact with water. First, we're going to start off with pewter, and that has the lowest melting point of the group, only about 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're going to go ahead and melt that and pour it into the water. So our first metal is pewter, and this is just some leftover from my other video, casting a pewter sword. Now pewter is really easy to melt, and I can just melt it on an electric stove. You can see the pewter explodes the instant that it touches water. That's because there's no light and frost effect here. The pewter is in direct contact with the water, and because the pewter is so much higher than water's boiling point, little steam explosions occur. Now I'm going to make this quick because tin, bismuth, and lead all pretty much do the exact same thing. When you pour lead into water, it doesn't explode, but it does form a hard shell on the outside and creates these big, long metal spears. Tin turns into popcorn the second it touches water, and bismuth, well, just turns into dust the second that it contacted water. Now, I pulled all the metals out of water, and we can compare them side by side. With tin and pewter, there's definitely evidence of little steam explosions happening on the surface. You can see that in bismuth too, but there's also little metal spears that are starting to form. With lead, there's nothing but metal spears forming, which means that it's getting hot enough to just slide right through water. Alright, next up is zinc, and zinc has a melting point of almost 800 degrees, and zinc is the main component in new pennies. When I was trying to melt zinc, I noticed it started sweating. I've never seen anything like that happen on before. Pretty cool. Zinc is the main component in new pennies. When I was trying to melt zinc, I noticed it started sweating. I've never seen anything like that happen on metal before. Pretty cool. Alright, this is where things start to get interesting. You can tell zinc is almost entirely unaffected by water. It just glides right through, looking like little metal raindrops. Alright, let's grab some of the zinc from the bottom of the fish tank and check it out. The way that the zinc fell through the water and ended up producing some really cool, organic, yet still metal blobs. Alright, next up we have aluminum. Commonly mispronounced as aluminium, which is wrong, aluminum has a melting point of over 1200 degrees F. F stands for freedom. Go Team America! What's really cool about aluminum is not only the way that it snakes through the water, but the fact that it remains molten all the way to the bottom of the fish tank. That lets me create some kind of drippy metal art sculptures. The aluminum is so hot it instantly vaporizes the water it's next to, so it falls down in a shimmering cloud of water vapor, protecting itself from direct contact with the water. Now that was really cool. Now let's check out what we got from the bottom of that. We got some chunks of iron as well as some little iron balls. We have some little aluminum oxide balls. This is kind of just the leftover from the reaction, and you can see that there's still a little bit of iron trapped in there. And here's the slag This is what was left in the flower pot, and you can tell that there's still a lot of iron in there too as well. But anyway, guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I mean, if thermite can't figure out a way to kill you, then it's probably fine to pour aluminum or whatever metals in water. I'll see you guys next time. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've got any comments, leave them below, and if you liked it, give me a thumbs up. I'm always open to ideas, and I will see you next time. P.S. Subscribe. Way to keep cool in the shade, and way to keep my shots constant, because the light is changing, it's windy. Today we've got liquid nitrogen, molten aluminum, and a whole bunch of pumpkins. It's time to do Halloween, backyard scientist style. So the first thing we're going to do today is pour a bunch of liquid nitrogen into a pumpkin and see what happens. After that, we're going to pour molten aluminum into a pumpkin, and then we're going to combine the two by freezing a pumpkin to 300 degrees negative Fahrenheit, and then pouring molten aluminum into it. This should be cool. Before we destroy this pumpkin, there's something I want to try. I've got a cup full of liquid nitrogen. Now, the only reason liquid nitrogen's still liquid is because it's so cold, so the second it touches the relatively hot pumpkin, it flashes back into a gas and creates a pretty impressive cloud of condensed water vapor as it does that. Alright, now it's time to pour molten aluminum in the pumpkin. I just have to be really careful bringing the molten aluminum over there. Well, I'm glad that didn't land on me. Anyway, second try is a charm, so here we go. Now, with a big pumpkin like this, they're mostly hollow, so there's nothing for the aluminum to really interact with as it falls through the pumpkin. So if we want to create a cast of the inside of a pumpkin, I'm going to need a more medium-sized pumpkin with seeds and smaller empty pockets for the aluminum to travel through. We poured liquid nitrogen in a pumpkin, and we poured molten aluminum in a pumpkin. Now it's time to combine the two. I'm filling this pumpkin with liquid nitrogen, and my theory is that pumpkins are really fragile on the inside, so when you pour something really hot in, it'll just turn the insides to mush. But with the liquid nitrogen having the pumpkin at negative 300 degrees Fahrenheit, it should be a lot harder, and the aluminum should be able to get everywhere in that pumpkin. The pouring went a lot smoother this time. Thankfully, I managed to not set my yard on fire, and the pumpkin didn't explode from some kind of crazy thermal shock. Alright. Alright, time to crack these open and see what we got. This is the one without the liquid nitrogen in it. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Ooh, that's pretty cool, huh? Ugh. Ooh, man, that stinks. Got a lot of good detail on that one for sure. Liquid nitrogen one. Let's see if this is any different. Now for the moment of truth. Ooh, ow, hot. So this was the one with liquid nitrogen, and this was the one where I just poured in the pumpkin regularly. I'm gonna clean these up and then let's check them out. Now I cast two pumpkins that were cooled with liquid nitrogen, and they both filled the inside of the pumpkin perfectly. They're pretty
Should celebrate.
Change.
What are you doing there?
This was our video.
Well, all right, I'm gonna get no.
I'm on this camera.
Hi, I'm Markiplier.
Wait, are you doing the intro?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be quiet. You go.
Hi, I'm Markiplier, and welcome to the Improv Challenge. Nope, this is the Change Improv Challenge. I changed it.
Hi. We had some leftover improv scenes that were actually really funny but didn't fit into their own video. So here is a compilation of those funny scenes, and I'm saying funny a lot, but I mean empty promises are just a bunch of lies. Fuck. It's funny. Watch it. Enjoy it. Bye-bye now. Bye.
You guys are two members of the crew. You know the movie Armageddon?
Yeah, yeah.
You're two members of the crew on Armageddon. You've just landed on the asteroid, and you need to get all the gear off the thing to start drilling the hole to put the nuke in the asteroid.
Right.
Okay.
Is that the one with Bruce Willis?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm Bruce Willis. We gotta blow this asteroid
I'm
up.
Steven Tyler's daughter.
I've always thought you were the hottest girl on this mission, but let's not give up yet.
I'm your daughter.
Right.
Too.
I stand by my words. Don't try to change my mind.
Yes.
We're about to die. I gotta be honest at least one time in my life.
Upload the stuff off of the ship.
You do that.
Let's get all these puppies off the boat.
Change.
Let's get drilling.
Change.
I once murdered an entire pod of dolphins.
You know what? That asteroid would have done the same. And frankly,
That's what I tell myself every night.
since we're gonna die, I figure, we can do whatever the hell we want.
yeah.
We could kill dolphins. Hey,
kill bears.
We could let this asteroid go and kill everything.
We
if you
could
wanna.
kill children. And
Whoa.
Change.
Change. What? Change the bodies. That's bad. No, don't do that.
Well, I mean, the entire planet could die. A few kids go here and there. I mean, it's not that bad
Well,
in the grand scheme of things.
I mean, you can't do a few if the asteroid hits the Earth. It's going to kill literally all the children and the people, unless you got children stowed away in the junk drawer.
Change.
Unless you got dead bodies piled up in your pants.
Change.
Unless you can find the sausage. Okay. No, my sausage! I was saving that for when we blew it. Why did you instantly start eating my sausage?
It's delicious. It's good space food. It's so much better than the toothpaste and
I
Tang
thought I
I've been
taught
eating
my
recently.
daughter better than to eat other people's sausages. God damn it, Tanya? Is my name Tanya? You know what? It's all a little hazy up here. I think my suit's running out of oxygen. We should probably get to work.
We should get drilling.
Yeah, we should get drilling. I guess it's
Yeah, that's a hole. It's already pre-drilled. Oh, we gotta strip the wood.
This is one of those pre-drilled asteroids, God really did us a favor on this one. All right, let's put...
You sure did.
Yeah, all right, hang on. We got...
Put the cover on it.
Well, we haven't put the bomb in. Is that like a safety cover so no one falls in? Oh, now you're safety conscious. Oh, okay, all right then. Well, what do I do with this bomb?
Well, we can put it in one of the numerous pre-drilled holes. This doesn't have to be the one.
It's a perforated
We don't want to come into the first hole we find and be like, yeah, that's the one. We should probably, search our options.
Okay.
Change.
I don't know about that.
Change.
I've got an itch.
Change.
Ah! The Earth! It's closing in! We gotta pick fast which hole. Hey, champion hole filler. I remember back when you were growing up. You were the greatest hole filler that the world has ever seen.
I was.
I said my daughter, she's gonna fill the most important hole, and I think you should get the honors.
You said my daughter, Steven Tyler's daughter.
Steven Tyler's daughter.
The best hole filler.
The Steven Tyler's daughter.
All right, I'm gonna fill the hole. I'm gonna do it for you.
All right.
All right. That one's a little small. That one's a little wide. It's like throwing a hot dog in a hallway.
Change.
It's like throwing a bear down a canyon.
Change.
That one's too big.
You're right. When you're right, you're right.
This one's just right.
Wow.
It's like a Goldilocks story up here. Whoa.
Well, since we only got, what, like 30 seconds left until we hit the Earth, maybe we should celebrate.
Change.
You know, you're the prettiest ass.
Change.
Tanya Harding's daughter. I love you.
Your father-daughter shopping for a prom dress.
Oh, I just don't know which one I want. Dad, what about this one? Do you think it would show off a little bit too much up here?
Yeah, it's too slutty.
It's my favorite one I've seen so far.
No.
There's just not that many options. What would you go with?
Do any of these dresses go down to the floor anymore? Let's go to the long dresses. Long dresses. And cover up the top part too. Do they make dresses with sleeves? You find me a sleeve dress?
Dad, you're embarrassing me.
What?
Susan's right over there. She's gonna hear you.
I don't care what
Do you
Susan
see the dress
hears.
she's wearing? It's just duct tape over her nipples.
It's horrifying.
It's in style, Dad.
I don't care what's in style. No, not. We're gonna
I'm
go
not
to the
looking
long-
at the long dresses, Dad. I'm gonna trip. I've never worn a long dress with heels.
Women have worn long dresses for centuries. Women have worn long dresses and corsets and
I didn't
makeup.
think you were like this, Dad. You let Mom wear those things that there's not much there going down to the floor, Dad. I've seen it.
Yeah, well, I was married to your mom, and she only cheated on me that one time, but otherwise it was cool.
It was your twin brother, Dad. You look the same.
She could tell the difference. I've seen him naked, and there's a difference.
I want this dress, Dad. You know what Mom would say if she were here right now? I'm gonna let you know as soon as I find out.
I'll wait.
She would have said, instead of bats for baseball, use a dildo. Because Mom's a free spirit, Dad.
You know-
You're just stuck up and stuck in your old ways. Women should wear long dresses. No, I don't think so. I want this dress. Or else I'm gonna wear duct tape on my nipples too.
It does.
We don't even worry about the bottom. My vaginal region Earth can just show.
Really don't like that you call it that, and that does sound like something your mother would say. But do you know what your grandmother said to me about your behavior and the duct tape?
Grandma was crazy,
and the
Dad.
Miley Cyruses. Do you know what she said before she passed?
No, why don't you tell me?
She said my monkey swallowed my car keys, and I think we both know what she meant.
She wanted her monkey to be free too, Dad.
Have you seen the Kardashians on the TV?
No, you won't let me watch anything but golf.
Well, isn't that just peachy?
No, it's not, Dad. I could be watching Fashion Weekly. I could be watching the Kardashians. I could be watching where to get nice dresses like this. Unlike Grandma's wedding gown you gave me at home, which goes down to the floor and then some. I'm not 8 feet tall, Dad. Why is the dress that long?
Well, you're going to prom, so you're probably a little bit young for the wedding dresses for like a fully grown woman.
Do you remember what Phil Mickelson said the last time he was on TV? One good thing I got out of golf?
Phil says lots of stuff.
He said to me, well, he said to the screen, which I felt like he was talking to me, potatoes have skin, I have skin. And you know what he meant by that? I should show it. In fact, what do you think now, Dad?
Good God, just come on.
Oh, so I can have the dress now? I can have the dress now, huh, Dad?
Just
not
put
so
it on.
bad now.
What is wrong with you?
I just want this dress. And now I'm wearing it.
Maybe you're not mature enough for prom.
I think security's looking at us, Dad. We should probably get this dress and go soon.
I think you should put your clothes back on, and we should go. I'm gonna deal with the security guard. Just put your clothes back on. Sir, what's up, my cranky crew? What's up, my cranky crew?
You're going into battle in a war.
Oh, wrong person. Yep. Oh.
Oh,
I know.
I'm sorry.
The battle will rage You know what? We should drop these fake accents that we were doing.
Okay.
We're not gonna fool the Scots. Like, there's no way they're gonna believe that we're like, oh, that's just racist, probably.
What are we doing, Lieutenant?
Call me Greg. Man, I think we're close enough now.
But I'm merely private.
That's okay. You know, I went to law school or whatever the fuck it was. Oh, you know, I went to the moon a few times.
Change.
I just ate a cat. Real hungry. God, you know, but I feel like, you know, that brings people closer.
Why didn't you give me some of that cat?
But you want some? I still got some. This is the butt end. It's all right, though.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Greg.
Change.
This is its face.
Change.
This isn't a cat at all.
Oh, well. Oh, shit. Is that something else I ate right here?
This looks like a horse testicle.
Change.
This looks like your testicle.
You know, hey, that's why I feel we're so close.
Why is your ball so big?
Well, I mean, I'm extremely manly.
Change.
You know, cancer.
Change.
It's just, I keep collecting them, and I just add more. I've got a bunch.
You know what? Instead of eating this, I'm going to use this to rebel the Scots.
Change.
I'm going to use this as firewood.
Wow. You know, I feel like that's a waste of my testicles that I've been collecting for years now.
I heard they're highly flammable.
From who? Who told you that? Who said that testicles were flammable?
Your wife said yours were.
I'm not married!
Change.
Ah, I'm angry!
Change.
Did you grab him? I coughed. Should I turn my head?
Greg.
No, you're Greg.
I'm Greg.
Yeah.
Great Scott! Like a lieutenant!
Oh my god! We're both Greg!
We're both Greg?
That's great! I feel like we can even be closer friends now that we know each other are Gregs.
Change.
Oh man! You're my clone!
Change.
Oh! You're taller than me. That's not cool, Greg. That's not cool.
Change.
Oh man. I'm lost in your eyes. Greg within a Greg.
Is Greg inside you?
Not yet, he's not. No.
Change.
Oh. Yep. I can't do that. Not while there's war happening.
Change.
Oh, you know, it's just not the right hole.
What, my bullet wound isn't good enough for you?
I don't want to do that either.
My burn hole from your laser isn't big enough?
How did you get a hold of the experimental laser?
It was in your pocket. I just...
Change.
It was attached when I cut off your testicle.
Damn it, I knew I shouldn't chain my lasers to my balls like that. I keep losing them that way. Oh well. Well, you know what? I think we've forgotten the more important thing at hand. We're about to die. They're coming, screaming their Scottish screams.
Oh, it's alright. That's just Braveheart.
Change.
It's alright. They're just flashing us with their butts.
Change.
It's alright. They have nuclear bombs.
Change.
They're really... far away.
You're right. But their nuclear bombs are really big.
Change.
But their kilts have grappling hooks.
But that's not important. What's important is we're both Greg.
I feel like that's the least important
And
thing.
we're gonna be the Greg Wall!
Well,
The best Greg Wall!
Change.
We're gonna be Greg Small.
Change.
Or use our grenades.
Well, again, grenade versus a nuke. I'm out of testicles. I just ate the last cat. The situation is grim. I was only trying to cheer you up because we're obviously gonna die.
Change.
I was only trying to do a dance. I'm not good enough for that. That's why I always became a soldier. My dad told me the same thing.
But this war is won.
How?
It's won by dance.
How? Well, I don't understand how that correlates, but my dad always told me that I couldn't dance.
Change.
Well, you know, my mom, when she died, I was really sad. Oh man, my uncle touched me when I was a kid. Pushed me to be a soldier. Oh, that's impossible. You speak impossible dreams. I don't know who you are anymore, Greg.
Have you not seen the Nutcracker?
No.
Oh.
Anyway.
We need to win this war.
We do.
And it's through dance fighting, so we need to practice.
Again, I'm not 100% sure I'm on board with this, but I'll give it a try.
Ready?
After you.
Change.
Oh, me first. I gotta stretch before I dance.
They say stretching isn't enough. You need to be massaged during the stretching process.
I'm okay.
Change.
You know what? That sounds pretty good.
Change.
But how many hands you got? You mind if I make my own lotion?
Let me get the testicle out of the fire.
Yeah, it's pretty burnt right now. The testicle I gave you, cherished, gave you, out of my collection.
Well, I just heated it up for the lotion making process.
How? How does that work? We got nuclear Scotsman. We got grappling hood loincloths. I ate the last cat. I can't dance. My uncle touched me. This is all going to shit.
Change.
As my grandpappy used to tell me, I love balls.
See?
You are two construction workers building the world's tallest building.
Bobo. That doesn't go there.
You saying this fucking huge I-beam that we just craned up here, spent 2 hours lining up, doesn't go right next to this fucking huge I-beam we just craned up here that we spent 2 hours lining up?
No, it's supposed to go,
that was
it's supposed
all
to go
wrong?
to the left.
It's 80 feet long. You see this fucking thing? What, am I just gonna scooch it to the left?
I thought that's why you took the steroids.
No, I took the steroids to get the chicks, okay? I can't fucking
How are
move.
you gonna get chicks with those tiny balls and you can't move the freaking I-beam?
We deal with that in the bedroom. They like the muscles, I can tell you this. I was last night at the bar. This hottie, this blonde, you know what she said to me?
What?
I walked up, showed her the guns. She said, I want you to paint me like one of your dead neighbors. And I was like, shit, she knows who I am before I even talked to her.
How does she know you killed all your neighbors?
I know, right? I'm building a reputation. Anyway, how the fuck am I supposed to move this big I-beam? Are you sure this isn't right? It looks right. It's the corner of the whole building.
Maybe it's upside down. Can you flip it over at least?
Oh yeah, just flip it over. Are you fucking stupid?
I'm sick of this. You know what you used to say to me in these situations?
Not really.
Instead of being mean, you used to say, cry like the baby you are.
That sounds exactly like no. Why'd you go no
What you
for
meant?
me and cry like the baby you are? Look, I'm gonna do this well. You just go fuck off.
You know, I could call the police. I know about all the neighbors.
You don't got any evidence of that.
I got your neighbor's foot right here.
Well, that's weird, but I don't think that's Jeff's foot.
That's right, it's Johnny's, the neighbor on the left.
Wait, that doesn't prove nothing. Why do you have
It's
it?
got your fingerprints all over it.
You must have killed him.
I didn't kill him. Your
Fucking
fingerprints are on
psychopath.
it.
I'm gonna call the cops right now. You know what? You got that guy's foot. You cut the foot off. You got the foot. I'm gonna call the cops and be like, hey, cops. Once upon a time, a little boy was hit by a truck, and this fucking guy killed his neighbor.
Why are you talking about Jimmy's son like that? I know he got hit by that truck, but he ain't gonna tell on me.
You can't talk right no more, but it's still funny. Look, I'm gonna do this well, and you just go cry like a little baby, fuck off. You know what? I'll wait. I'll just take a little nap. You will get the foreman. Have fun going down 40 stories.
Instead of doing that, I need you to do me a favor.
Probably not.
You know, you said you were going to do me this favor like 2 weeks ago.
Sure.
You can jingle my bells.
You're two pirates who just discovered the buried treasure you were digging up. The treasure chest is empty.
This be it.
Yeah, sorry. Arr, it'd be it.
You don't have to do that, except we've talked about it.
God, thank you. God, I'm so tired of it. 8 weeks of that on the sea. You know, they make ships with turbines now.
Yeah, okay, this is the last fucking time we get interns.
All
Jesus.
right, fine, all right.
Would you use the shovel and open the thing?
Oh, yeah, okay, I'll use the shovel. Fine, all right.
This be a joke.
What?
Is this one of those goofs you be doing?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm not one to goof you, bro.